Being featured is brought to you by Lucky Horseshoe, A&R Electrical Services, and Patient Spirit Productions.
My guest being featured today has been dancing for more than 13 years, and now she's the queen of the Whole Town Festival. Her name is Megghan Michael. Megghan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you pulled off a big one. I just want to say first and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's first start with discussing the advancement and progression of the Whole Town Festival.
Well, as a dancer in Dance in Africa, we have been so accustomed to doing the Whole Town Parade for me, from the time I was 7 years old. So as being a part of the Whole Town Festival, I thought that it has been dwindling a lot, and there has to be some level of innovation that we need to put into it, and creativity through the young minds, instead of using the older folk and bringing older techniques and activities. I think that we need to do young and progressive things, because we know about Crop Over, we know about Oysters Festival, we know about so many other festivals, but what about Whole Town? And I think that we need to accept the youth more and be open to any innovative, creative activity to progress the festival.
Okay, and the thought of actually competing in the pageant, where did that come from?
My thoughts, I had no thoughts about competing in the pageant. I went to the pageant last year, and I had at least 6 friends in the pageant. And I always said, oh, I'd love to be in a pageant, but nah, I never wanted to be in the pageant, probably a supporting act. But Danielle Leslie, former Miss Whole Town in 2006, prodded and prodded and prodded until I finally given in. She told me, Megghan, I think that you are the new face of pageantry. You're not small, you're not light skinned. I think that you have potential. And I was like, oh, no, not really. And she said, yeah, I think you should. And in my mind I said, well, once somebody can see potential in me, why not just seek it out? So Danielle was, I would say, my main driving force. And after that, Janae as well, the former Miss Whole Town 2014, she's also my friend. She said, yeah, you should probably enter as well, because she knew my potential from the time we were 3 years old. So those 2 people probably driven me the most in the beginning, and I did not want to enter the pageant at all.
And talk about the preparations for the show.
Preparation is key. It is so important. My preparation began a week before my audition. The auditions were in October, and that was just mentally getting myself into the pageant era. And I said, let me watch some videos. So this is part of preparing, watching videos in the Caribbean, in Barbados, International Miss Universe, so just basically getting literature about pageantry. And then in October as well, I got into the gym harder, worked hard, and also I worked with my chaperone, Sharon Sargent, and later down Antoine Williams in January. So my preparation was a long process, mentally and physically. It only got tougher probably the last month or so.
Talk about any of the other contestants that would have had you, I guess, intimidated, because you know these shows, people come fairly strong.
They do, and every single girl, I must say, was phenomenal. Everybody had some type of talent that was a cut above all the other contestants. There was Jalicia, who is perfect at speaking. I can tell you, she is so good. There's actually that she can act so good. When she speaks, everybody has to listen. For me, it was dancing. There was Shantonia that has the body, and Kadisha that can model beautifully. And I think that what I did is use everybody's technique and niche and try to fuse it together. So if somebody was good at modeling, I'd be like, yo, I need to watch her. And if somebody was good at speaking, I would pay attention to her and make sure I fused every single talent and put it together to be as phenomenal as I can be.
Talk a little bit about self-confidence as it relates to, you know, these pageants.
Self-confidence. Well, most of the time girls say, I want into a pageant because I want confidence. And confidence will for sure be an end product. But for me, I already had confidence in dancing and performing from a young age. And it wasn't confidence for me, but how I push myself as a person and the image that I want to portray. So confidence was a driving force, but more so of projection to the audience and to people who watching me on Facebook, Instagram, see my pictures. That would be a driving force from my confidence.
And I understand that you were not nervous on the show night.
Yeah, of course. Okay. I was nervous.
Okay, talk about that.
I was nervous. I was not nervous throughout the competition.
Okay.
But on the night, I was nervous. It's okay to have nerves. Nerves are good because it's part of the adrenaline, and adrenaline pushes you to do more and be the best that you can be. So, yes, I was nervous, and seeing the other girls, and because we all dressed in one room. So if anybody had attention, you know, energy is passed on, is never left there. So each energy was passed on, and probably like one girl, she could not get her hair gown, and she literally had to like lie down on the table to get it. So that like kind of set me off, like, oh my god, what if that happens to me? So yes, that made me nervous as well, but it was I think it drove me to be even better than I can be.
Okay, and talk about your performances on that night.
My performance, for me, my chaperone always told me, do not think about before, do not think about after, think about the segment that you're in. And I believe I performed in every segment, I enjoyed every segment, and I think that I did a good job. I was myself, and I just had fun. And that's the key to anything that you do in life. If you want to be successful, do not make it a task. Make sure that some part of it is fun, and you'll enjoy it and appreciate it more.
Okay, I know that you've won. What are some of the, I guess, events that you have to attend since you won the competition?
Talking to you, number one. Yeah. So far, I've done, yes, a few interviews on Barbados Today, The Nation I did as well. I did a lot of modeling gigs. I recently modeled at Fantasy Band launch.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yes, I wrote a couple magazine articles about myself and production of dance in Barbados and pageantry. And basically, it's just, I think the most thing that I've done so far after the pageant is advise people.
Okay.
And it was mostly bigger girls because they see me as an inspiration. I'm truly grateful for it. So they see me as an inspiration, and I just said, if you want to lose weight or if you want to look nice, work hard. It's not going to be easy. It is going to take long. So I think that being a driving force and a motivation for people has been my biggest job after the pageant.
Okay, let's switch our attention to dancing. You're dancing now, I guess, over 13 years. You started off in Dance in Africa. Had over, I think, 7 or 8 years in Dance in Africa.
More than 7 or 8 years. It's probably like 11 years.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that a little bit. Talk about when you were young. You know, the Dance in Africa, they have the junior section and I think intermediate and then adult, I think.
There's the children's section.
Yeah.
The juniors, seniors, apprentice, performers. Right, yeah. I teach the children's section. There are 3 parts of the children's section, and that begins from 3 to 7. So I teach that area, and then there's the 7 to 11, and then there's the teenagers. So I grew up in Dance in Africa from children to juniors to seniors, like straight across. And Dance in Africa, I will say, has, I don't want to say made me want the pageant, but would be a significant role in my performance and my confidence and being the person that I am today.
Okay, let's reflect on some of your younger days in Dance in Africa.
Well, it's so funny because Hotel Festival Parade would have been a big deal. Like, if you get in that parade, you were something big. You get to dance, you get to do a solo in front of everybody, because at the parade there's a big circle and you do like performances and stuff. So I've been dancing throughout Dance African Whole Town Festival from probably 7, and I've done so much other things, like going to St. Vincent for a show called Icosa.
Whoa.
In Trinidad. We went to, this is probably when it was 12 or 11, we went to something called Shashamani's dance exchange group. So it's from different countries going to Trinidad, and we performed. Obviously I did NIFCA every single year. I've never stopped NIFCA from the time I was 7. And throughout the entire period I grew and grew and grew more. I opened myself to other dance groups. I also began to teach children to dance, and 2 years ago, I think, yeah, this year will be 2 years, I taught Gentle Sex Dance Academy, and we won a silver award at NIFCA, and I won the Barbados Manufacturers Award, and other small incentives that would have been a stepping stone in my dance career.
Okay, and talk about the performance that you would say sticks out the most while you were in Dance in Africa.
The performance, there's so much different performances. Well, in Dance in Africa, I would say for me would be dancing. My first big show would be at Diaspora Arise 2 with the police band. It was my first big performance at Franklin Hall.
Awesome.
And I was not even a girl, I was a boy. I danced as a boy.
Whoa.
And it was a good performance, but in all, like, for me, my best performance would have been in Trinidad last year at the Soca Monarchs finals with Biggie Airy.
That's a big gig.
Yes, and not because it was a big gig, but because it showed me so many different cultures that the Caribbean has, and that they're all so linked to each other, and I totally appreciated every single second that I was on stage.
Can you talk about that experience? I mean, Soca Monarch, that was like the pinnacle of soca in the world, and you performed there. So talk about being called, actually called for that gig. I mean, obviously, I guess that feeling, that would have sent a rush.
Yeah, it did. I performed with Biggie Airy for probably the past 5 years, and I think he trusted I and the other girls to represent him and represent Barbados dancers as well. And it was truly a great experience. It went beyond the stage. It was mind-boggling because you had to think about so many different things, especially that hole in the stage that Masha would have been coming out of. So you just like, do not drop in that hole, and remember that you have to perform for your audience. And it was such a great experience. I would love to do it again. I also did it this year, but I did the semi-finals, and it was a good experience as well, but we didn't make it to the finals this year.
Okay, and obviously there would be slight differences when you compare Trinidad to Barbados. You could point out some of the things that you would say, well, that's different.
Yes. In terms of performing, there's difference in that there's a bit more organization in Trinidad, because you have to be organized if it's an international competition. But for me, I believe that Barbados's competitions can be better and are getting better than theirs, and I am happy that we are moving to an international stage just like the other competitions overseas.
Okay, let's talk about you being a teacher now. All the years you being a student, and now you're actually a mentor now. Actually, how does it feel now to be, bringing up youngsters in your footsteps?
I can tell you that children, in the whole, I love children. You cannot see me walk past somebody and just see a child and don't say, oh my God, you're so cute. No, I have to do it. So playing with children has driven me to teach children, and I feel as though I'm an inspiration to them. And I have to always be on point and know what I want to teach them and know what I want to give and diffuse my knowledge and my culture to them. And I'm so privileged and I'm so happy that I get to work with them every Saturday. Okay,
well, you touched on it earlier, but let's zero in to some of the groups that you are working with now.
Right now I'm working with Dance in Africa's Children. I work with Gentle Stats Dance Academy during the summer and along the next period. I work with private schools, Warren's private school, and a couple other little schools. And I sometimes teach at church, but I didn't do it for a while. But I've been teaching little children all around. Even if I also do cheerleading as well, so I would have gone into schools and teach cheerleading and done a lot of other stuff.
Okay, what's the most difficult thing I guess you would consider when dealing with children? Because you know, children, they are not adults. Obviously, it goes without saying, but I mean,
the most difficult thing would be actually it's not even getting them steady. It's just getting them to do what you want them to do, because they're so young and you can't explain to them in a technical way. You have to break it down to them, so that would be the most challenging part. So for example, if I tell them I want you to releve means to go on your toes or to stand up tall, I would come around and get a garbage can, a watering can, and squirt, like pretend that they're flowers, and they say pretend you're a flower and grow up. So they grow. So I have to find ways to be innovative in order for them to do things that I want them to do. So that would be difficult, but for me it has challenged me to be creative as well.
You ever thought of opening your own?
Of course. I want in my mind, in probably the next 10 to 15 years, I would love Megghan Michael dance school. It won't be named Megghan Michael, but I would love to open a dance school, and I believe that right now in my life it's gearing me to have a dance school, to even do bigger things in dance world in Barbados and change dance, the perspective of dance in Barbados. And I can see so many big things happening for me and dance in Barbados.
Yeah, you had opportunity, I think it was 2012 or 13, to do the NIFCA, I think it was an apprenticeship internship program. Talk about that. I think it's foreign to me, so.
It is. Most dancers don't know about it, but NCF carries on an internship from the beginning of May until August, and it basically teaches and helps dancers to improve on their technique by bringing international dance tutors, such as Jamal Calendar from New York. He's from Barbados, but he lives in New York. There's other people from Canada, Spain, people all over the world come in and teach dancers to improve on their technique. And NCF also has activities and shows that they have that you would perform at as a dance company in the internship. And it has been carried on by John Hunt for the past 4 years now. This year will be 4 years, and I think that it has helped greatly in the dance world as well.
And before we finish the topic of dancing, know that you are, let's say, an adult. What does dancing mean to you? Because you know before it'd be like a hobby. How do you get teenagers? A hobby, just a pastime. But no, you're an adult. You're taking it seriously. You're actually doing it as a profession. So what would you say dancing really mean to Megghan Michael?
Dance is emotions, love, hate, passion. So much different words put together to show that dance is life. And I believe that we dance in our mummies' tummies before we are born, and we go into the world and arguing, using our hands. That is dance. Basically, walking on the road casual. That is dance. Me talking to you is dance, and dance is communication as well. And I think that anybody in the world should at least do one dance class, and in Barbados appreciate dance way more. Like, for example, I was saying that there's dance CSC. I was telling my friend there's dance CSC because I have music CSC, and I was saying that dance CSC. She's like, dance CSC? You people actually do that? And I'm like, yes, we actually do dance CSC. So there needs to be more appreciation of the art, especially in Barbados. And I think that the Caribbean embraces dance because it's our culture from Africa. But in Barbados, we need to zero in more and understand that dance is life.
Megghan Michaels, I think it was a very, very good conversation, and thank you very much for coming.
No problem.